Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War social cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 3 vs 3 on Crossroads. Playing on Team 1 as the Orks, we've got Mick. We've got Semargul playing as the Space Marines. And we've got Negan playing as the Chaos Space Marines. Whereas on Team 2, playing as the Orks, we've got Gurgarag. We've got me playing as the Necrons. And we have got Ham playing as the Imperial Guard. So exciting game happening on the Crossroads. Now this is a map that you don't quite often see in any kind of multiplayer game. I don't know for why. Mainly because, it's quite an exciting map. You've got 4 relics off in the centre. You've got a critical location smack bang. And you've also got a couple of critical locations on the far-flung sides of the map. Yes, lots of trenches and valleys and tunnels, or whatever kind of noun you want to use to get into the centre. Lots of argy-bargy, with plenty of flanking shenanigans on the sides. So there we go. We've all seen the Imperial Guard and the Necrons, which we've not seen in yesterday's game, if I'm remembering this correctly. You will have to, forgive me for this. Essentially, I'm recording this game after playing this game more or less straight away. And I've spent the majority of Saturday, which is the day that I'm recording this game on, went to play it with D&D with the boys. And obviously when you play D&D with the boys, there's plenty of drinking. And so I'm a little bit hammered, shall we say, at this moment in time. So but the quality of casting might be questionable here. There might not be the most accurate sayings going on here. I am quite drunk. But that's alright, you know what? Because it's Definitive Edition season, I need to get as many games out as humanly possible for the algorithm. We're all slaves to the algorithm at the end of the day. Now, the Orks for Gurgarag have gone straight for the relic, same as the cultists for Negan, going over straight into the middle. And essentially, I'm not going to give any spoilers for how I play this game, but essentially, I'm a right rat bastard in this game, and I'll tell you for why. So, Necrons, if you're on this side or this side, where you're potentially fandangled by your enemies, obviously you've got to play more defensive. But if you're buffered by your allies on your right and left hand side, you can be a bit of a bastard and just basically tech up and do all sorts of shenanigans, which we may or may not see as the game goes on. Now we've got quite a lot of chaos and cultists on the front lines. Ideally, not to do a PvP workshop kind of cast here, although if you are wanting to learn how to do PvP better, there is a playlist on the channel where it's called PvP Workshop. Go on there, you learn all these bits and bobs on how to play the game a little bit better. From my perspective, granted, I'm not an amazing player, but I do what I can. This right here, cultists capturing the relic, all fine and dandy. But you've got these people, the Chaos Space Marines and the cultists. You can move forward. At the moment, I'm currently capturing a critical location with Builder Scarabs. These guys win all day long against a Builder Scarab because these guys have got no attack power. You've also got the Orks coming on, and Mick is quite on the ball, really. He's quite keen on getting involved, and so he'll send his sluggers forward, although in range stance for a brief moment, I think. Although I'm not sure if that was just some pathing issues, but not pathing issues, but we're standing around shooting, and that's their main thing. That's maybe a potential. That's not an uwu. That's not a Russian uwu. That is a Russian on my way. There we go. Okay. You'll notice as well, there was a couple of comments made earlier on about the game crashing. The game is crashing for a lot of people while they're trying to load up the game. That is not a new thing. To be honest, that's a new thing for Soulstorm. But, whatever. But you'll notice that while we're trying to talk, this blooming playback thing was in the way. Now, my one main thing that I wanted to ask Relic was, hey, Relic, could you just get rid of this? What's the function of this playback thingy here? I know it's a playback. I'm playing it back. And when I pause it, the game is paused. I know it's paused. I've paused the game. So, just... Relic, if you're watching this, stop it. Stop this right now. Either way, we've got Necron Warriors. They're getting involved in close combat and ranged combat. Now, at the beginning of the game, the Necrons do a lot more damage in close combat. And I'm also summoning some flayed ones on the back line. So while the Space Marines think, oh yes, we'll provide some range support to our Chaos allies. Oh no, never mind that. Got now double flayed ones on the back lines, causing some shenanigans. While the Slugger Boys not been the most boisterous of melee combat units in the game. Don't know where my camera's going there. are running away. And thankfully, Gurgarag is sending a full 7 plus 7, that's 14. 14 guys in there, look at that. Glorious. And so the Flayed Ones are going to chase these guys away. And we're going to kill some bits and bobs as we consolidate our holdings on the centre. Now, one thing that we forgot about, which Mick has done a really good job of, is even though we've all got our own individual valleys and corridors into the centre, there are these on the right and on the left-hand side where you can get an extra strategic point. And the Orks are absolutely hungry for blue money. Now, I know that people have a go at me calling requisition blue money, but requisition is a big word. I don't want to say that word every time I want to reference this. So, you know, sod you, I guess. Either way, a John Cena beam straight on top of the heavy border turret. Make sure it can't fire. Some of these guys can't fire as well, neither can the listening post. The power of the Necron Lord is the, you know, is the main binding force of any Necron composition. You need a Necron Lord. Some factions that can ignore their tier 1 commander, but Necrons absolutely cannot. That guy comes out, you get your upgrades from the Forbidden Archive, and you can do all sorts of shenanigans. Now, obviously, I'm playing the bog standard Solar Pulse, Phase Shift, Phylactery, which is basically what every player ever goes for. Obviously, you can go for your Resurrection Orb and your Nightmare Shroud, depending on what you go for. But the combination of Forbidden Archive stuff that I've gone for is the most standard. Because I'm just, you know, I just do what everyone else tells me. Because if I don't, people shout at me in the comments. Either way, we've got sluggers. Look at this. The boys are having fun. We're chasing these guys around. The Imperial Guard, they're not spending much time involving themselves into this game. They're playing low and slow, that's their temper. And that's fine. There's one single slugger boy. He's being brown-breaded. As, oh no, never mind. Sorry. Ignore everything I just said then. The Imperial Guard by Ham are now occupying this space here. Already, I know that I've just played this game, I've already forgot how the game goes. That's why God of War is so exciting, because I can remember bugger all about what's going on. Well, we're going to do some more economic damage to Negan. Negan is on our shit list purely because he's just there. So, even though we've got no anti-vehicle or building units, we've got the masses, we've got the passes, and because of this solar pulse here, these guys can't get too close to us to do their range damage. That gives the space necessary to kill their bits and bobs. Also, the cooldown on the... Oh, look at that. Yeah, you're going to teleport this way? I thought that too. No, never mind. Teleport around the backside. But yeah, the cooldowns on the Necron Lord's abilities is quite small, so you can make him quite active throughout any kind of engagement. I'm going to chase me everyone around here, but Space Marines by Samargol, although that I keep on wanting to say Smaug here. But he is not a dragon, he is not in the Lonely Mountains going for things. And I've told everyone to fall back, but the Orks don't fall back, they never fall back. They're going to come in and do what damage they can. I was quite low on models, so I thought I'd just run back home. And by run back, I mean teleport back home. As the advantage of the Necrons in a team game is you can go hard, deep into the enemy defences, and then when, you know, shit hits the fan, teleport back home. But these sluggers are absolutely loving Gurgarag's strategy here. Normally you don't see a massive slugger boys, mainly because they're a bit shite in tier 1. But you know, sometimes when your enemy is not expecting a massive boys armed with flamers, pretty darn good. Pretty darn good indeed. Force Space Marines back home, which has allowed the, my Necrons to come over here. Necron Lord's phase shifting at the moment just to absorb the fire here, whereas my Immortals are doing nonsense essentially. I would want them to fire at these plasma generators, but they've shut the bed. I've air moved them, and then they've teleported back home, so that's a sad thing. Now, we do have mixed war banners on the front lines, always, I mean, lovely, because they provide a defensive layer for the Orks, and I do believe, yes, okay, so Gurgarag has also done the same, now going for a 4th war banner. Always fun, because it defends itself, but also very dangerous, because if an enemy assault overrides your front lines, then you go back in the tech tree, because the Orks obviously require their war banners to tech up. So there we go, look at this! I might be drunk, but I know what I'm up to. I know the rules of Dawn of War, I have a rough idea of what's going on. and that's all fine. So we've got actually quite decent force from the Chaos Space Marines, even though they've lost their relic, which I've now claimed for my own. Haha, take that, you bastard. But sorry. They're also reclaiming the strategic point, even though we've taken it from them. But they've got 3 squads of Chaos Space Marines, and they've also got plasma guns on their aspiring champions. Loads and loads and loads of people sleep on that upgrade, but I kid you not, one of the best upgrades you can get if you're playing Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines is the plasma pistol for your aspiring champions or your sergeants? I want to say, yeah, sergeants, yes. Look at these guys, already got their plasma pistols on the go, so that's good. It's just a huge damage buff against heavy infantry and other bits and bobs. Always highly recommend it. Now we're going over here, we're doing stuff, and my Necron has died because I'm shit at the game. So he tried to come over here, but a quick tier 3 from Mick. He's now got his flash kits online, and they're going to absolutely crumple these Necron warriors. In the space of 5 seconds, that entire unit is dead. This entire unit soon to follow, but they're also going to focus on the Immortals as well. So my entire army has essentially been absolutely wiped out. They're also going to throw down some flayed ones. In fact, 2 squads of flayed ones. This might be a little bit harder for them to take on. But even if the flash kits aren't doing major damage, they've got the morale broken. 3 war banners and an upgraded listing post are going to break it down these flayed ones, 1 model at a time. And look at the swiftness. The morale breaking allows these guys to move quite quickly, quite fastly. If fastly is even a word, I've let my teammates know, Orks and tier 3, because I'm a good teammate. Look at me, and these guys will go back home. Grots moving around in their infiltrated manner. Necrolord is back online, but I think this is also the time where I built him, and I forgot that I built him, so he dies again, because I'm a piece of shit. The Imperial Guard, they're trying their best, God bless them. They're trying their best. They've got the heavy weapons team, which has defended them for quite some time. Tech Presence here dies, but they've also got a couple of heavy bottle buildings here, so that should keep them nice and healthy. They've also got a mighty Basilisk, which can sit way back from the far front combats and do some damage there. So the Chaos Space Marines aren't feeling all that confident, but the flash kits have taken down 1 heavy bolts turret. This heavy weapons team, go on, get them in there. No, they died more or less straight away. The big mech absorbing that damage, always good. If you're ever struggling with turrets in the early game, send your commanders forward to absorb the damage and let your other units, support them. For, because you've got the commander armor and they don't take as much damage as your regular units. So that's another tip. There you go. Command squad, we haven't seen him yet. Normally the big pimp on the early game setting. Imperial Guard, I would say, arguably have the best early game commander, not because of the individual himself, but because of his friends, and friendship is magic and all that shit. So they get together and they do like loads of damage to their opponents, depending on what configuration you go for. Normally it's priest into psyker or psyker into priest. Priest gives them a little bit of a swift movement bonus, and psyker obviously has that zap that they can do to an individual target. And now I've got quite a lot of Orks moving down the southern side, double flash gates. Both got the shoot boys, but they're actually being a little bit cautious, shall we say. This is a relic that they could be decapping if they really wanted to. I mean, the Imperial Guard at the moment, well, for the exception of their Basilisk, they've got a couple of guardsmen and a lonely commissar, not joining a group, but just, doing his own thing. He's threatening the boys, and then threatening the non-boys. He's always there to threaten them, just in case. We're going to capture the critical location. I mean, to be fair, the Orks don't necessarily need to capture anymore. They have got their extra point here, and I do believe, what is it, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 4 strategic points is a happy number for the Orks. They will happily sit there all day long, tech up quicker than anyone else, as we saw. We've also got Space Marines providing the Assault Marines, and a couple of other tacticals in the back lines. Mega Armor Knobs as well. So this current unit composition is absolutely terrifying. If they pushed now, they would do some serious shenanigans, especially with Gergerag having all 4 of his war banners on the front lines. Now he's got a couple of knob squads, got killer can. You don't normally see killer cans in multiplayers because they're slow and they're not the best walker vehicle unit, but we appreciate them being in the game regardless. There's yellow on pink. We love to see it. But me being a piece of shit, I'm going to think, right, okay, well, I'm not there, but I'm going to throw some flayed ones on the front lines, focus on those flash gates, get them out of the shirt. We're double killer cans, mega armor knobs. We've also got Chaos moving forward with their predators and a couple of Chaos Space Marines activating their do more damage ability. Necro Warriors sneaking forward with their it is the Disruption Field upgrade, which is a word that I always forget to remember how to pronounce. We've also got Heavy Destroyer as well for damage to enemy vehicles, although there's no enemy vehicles apart from the Chaos Predator. Our numbers are falling very quickly, considering the sheer amount of raw firepower that's able to bring to bear by the enemies. But here comes a couple of Hellhounds. AoE damage. It's a beautiful thing to see, burning the boys to a crisp. And because our enemy doesn't have that much in the way of anti-vehicle stuff, we're able to hold the line, essentially. Got a John Cena beam coming down here, preventing the flash gates from firing. They're my main target, really, to prevent the fire. Either you throw down a solar pulse, or you engage them in close combat. Either way, as long as they're not firing, it's a happy day for everyone. There's a war boss right smack bang in the middle. Look at him go. And then look at him not go. He's going to run away, maybe. I don't know. Is he going to run away? Go on, get involved. Enjoy yourself. This is you. It's your glow up. It's your peak moment here. One Hellhound dead. The flash gets have moved on to the left-hand side. The Imperial Guardsmen have gone for a couple of plasma guns here and there. But we've got constant Necron Warriors moving forward. They're cheap. They're free. Well, they're not free. I mean, they're free to buy and build initially. But then to reinforce they cost money. But that's alright. We've also gone for a second Necron Monolith. Just to spam the nonsense out. Because that's just how we roll, baby. And what's going on here? Oh, it's Necron Lord. He's still doing things. He's chasing the flash gates. No firing from those guys. That's our main idea here. Got some stealthy tank busters here, firing towards my heavy destroyer. But the way I like to play a game when I'm playing Necrons is build loads of these guys and then just basically auto-build the heavy destroyers. I know some people prefer to go for a couple of Immortals, which do a lot more damage, because, you know, you've got more models and do more damage, you know, they've got more chance to get some shots off. I prefer the heavy destroyers, mainly because the Necrons have got shite vehicles, so, like, may as well just throw a lot of anti-vehicle stuff in there, and then let the Necron Warriors and the flayed ones, and occasionally, if you can afford it, the Pariahs in there. Which, fun fact, for those of you who are like watched this channel for about 3 or 4 years, well, 3 years, we're not going to be going for 4 years. It's called Pariahs because I can't read, as everyone's probably established by now. That's all right. Got this shit going on. Well, got some pink orcs going around this side now. Mick is doing that grand old strategy of the orcs. They've got to late game. They're going to build a whole bunch of boys' huts and they're going to spam out. Look at that, the Slugger Boys. Although you don't need to build these guys like you are, you can just right-click on their profile and they will auto-build all day long. Or you can just forget about them. We're breaking down a couple of war banners. That's all gravy, baby. And now we're making a big push down over to these guys. But just look at this sprawling base here. Even with those killed war banners, they've still got plenty of population space for those guys. Negan's making that mistake of making a small army and moving forward and basically sacrificing themselves to the Dark Gods, which I appreciate, you know, aesthetically very pleasing. But ideally what I want to do, wait for not one Predator, but 2 Predators. Wait for fully reinforced Chaos Space Marine units. You've got, you know, trust your allies. Your allies have got shit going on. Or maybe even go around the flank. You've got your enemy fighting around the centre. Maybe sending some bits and bobs towards your enemy base might save you in the long run. Here comes, sorry, my camera is being really wonky. It's not normally wonky, but Definitive Edition is being a bit more shit than normal. Or maybe that's my excuse. Maybe we're always, you know, this way inclined, but I'm just covering up by using someone else as an excuse. Huge engagement going on here. We've got the flash kits firing down, killing quite a lot of people very quickly. We've got a fake monolith because I'm a, like I say, a rat bastard. And then we've got an orc scrum going on here. Look at this. Purple and teal blue. Tying up all these guys. It doesn't matter for him. It's all free. You can just send these guys in all day, every day. We're going to make a push. The restore monolith doesn't do any damage to the opponents that they're firing at. But, you know, does a bit of AoE knockback. And it just looks a bit intimidating. Now, from the perspective of the enemy, this looks like a real monolith. As far as they're aware, I've got a real monolith. So, you know, the tricky ways that we work here. Imperial Guard now activating and controlling this relic over here. And the Orks slowly but surely making their way here. But these boys are not just building Slugger Boys, they're also building Tank Busters, which are causing all sorts of mischief and mayhem for the killer cans. Thankfully, though, I jump on over, throw down a John Cena beams. These guys cannot fire. Take that, you absolute rascals. So now the flash kits of Gurgarad can now finally start making an opening play and doing some damage on these boys. But still, these guys will be active for quite some time. Now I've got a small fistful of Necron warriors making the slow way on over. The fake monolith has faded away, and all this firepower is going to be keeping us at bay for quite some time. Also, Mink doing a fantastic job. He's anticipating that these are going to die very soon, so going to build replacements in his base already. So fantabulous stuff. Space Marines, of course, also got quite a sizable army going on. They're going to wait for the right time to strike, I imagine. Triple heavy destroyers. Oh no, so we've got a Lord Destroyer in here. Ready to not only put enemies in stasis fields, but also maybe potentially steal a vehicle. Because there's just nothing more cantankerous than coming into an enemy battlefield saying, hey, I love it, I like your tank, it's mine now. So there, the boys are still alive, gosh darn it, holding us back for a while. There's no point in pushing down this way or any other angle if you know full well that the Orks is basically going to pump a load of slugger boys into your flanks. And now they're moving forward. They've got a sizable amount of tank busters for anti-tank. And the Space Marines aren't moving. They're not moving for whatever reason. The Chaos Space Marines, they're coming over with some jumpy people and dying straight away. That's sad. Imperial Guard, they're just chilling out for a moment. We've also got the Basilisks firing in there as well. But my goodness, my gracious, Mick is really carrying his team here. Look at this, just an absolute sizable army striding on forward. They've got the tank busters, they've got the war trucks, they've got the flash kits and stuff. And the Necrons are trying their best to stay on foot. The Lord Destroyer, just before he dies, throws down a stasis field on these guys. So at the moment, they can't take any damage, but they can't do anything. So they've locked off a chunk of their forces while pushing forward. Chaos Space Marines jump on over, tying everyone up in close combat. Necron Lord activates his phase shift to make sure he's not taking any damage. Look at this, a masterclass in Necron Lord bullshittery. But we pull back because there's just way too much shenanigans for us. We don't need it in our lives, so we're just going to go back home. But this is a dangerous force for things. Space Marines are now going to come over, and the Imperial Guard might be looking for a little bit of a licking going on here. They're going to move forward. They've not got many in the way of their mini commanders here, so their formation might fall relatively quickly. I do apologise for the slight drop in frame rate here as all the action happens, but that's the way of Definitive Edition. There's only 15 frames per second to share between all of us. So the Witches and Hercules, they've got 1-2 between three of them, while we've got 15 frame rates between however many people are watching this. Maybe about 5 people. But we've got a John Cena beam keeping these guys at bay. The Imperial Guard with a mighty Beyblade, look at him go. Just blasting people in close combat and from a distance as well. It was an absolute major push from Team 1. But just by bullshit and super units, we might as well hold them just for a brief moment, but they're still going to come at us. They're still going to give us the best show that they've possibly got. The tank busters keeping on top of those killer cans. We're going to throw down another essence of the Deceiver before, obviously, games worked on the side that the katana were more interesting by turning them into batteries, I guess. Another fake monolith. It's definitely fake, mainly because my teammates would not donate me a relic because, you know, that'd just be too overpowered, I guess. We're going to throw fake bullshit at them until we win. Teleport over, see what we can do. He's also got the ability where we can turn enemies against each other for a little while, though I don't think we use that because that would just be too good. Over here, the Space Marines are throwing down a couple of dreadnoughts. The Baneblade did get brought down to half health, which is quite a remarkable feat of ingenuity from the Space Marines and the Chaos Space Marines. It's not enough. Just not enough. Now we'll keep on pushing forward, but the Orks have just got way too many Slugger Boys for any of us to deal with. Every time you kill an Ork, just more replace them. That is the real late game power of the Ork faction. You just basically, if they've got the money, and if they've got the money basically to get their vehicles and stuff to supplement their Slugger Boy base, there's very little you can really do against them. Apart from just hold the line and just hope that they get tired or bored or something. Or maybe go for a flanking maneuver of some description. The War Boss here is doing things. Thankfully our pariahs slap him down. Mega Armor Knobs from Gurgarag. I mean, they're stupidly well armoured. They've got the commander armor. They've got a sizable amount of health as well. Really difficult to take these guys down unless, of course, you are focused firing them. We've also got the Ork artillery, the fighter bomber, possibly, maybe not the most DPS-y artillery, but because of the flying unit, you can stick it in the most advantageous places and keep it alive for longer. Unlike the Imperial Guard Basilisks that take a while to fall back, do a lot of damage, but obviously they, you know, are more susceptible to being ganked. Is that no? Ganked is a League of Legends term. We don't use that here. Even though there are lots of lanes, so maybe we could. There's no Ivans in this game, and Ivan being objectively the best jungler in League of Legends, we won't bring his name into this game. We won't sully his reputation, shall we say. Take a look at that beautiful John Cena beam. I know that I'm glazing myself here. Don't you worry, boys and girls. If you subscribe to the Patreon, there will be a video of me failing like no man's business with the Necrons. But we don't talk about that unless, of course, obviously on the Patreon. Links in the description as always. And also, by the way, if you made it this far and you want to send your games in, feel free to look at the links in the description. There is a Discord. You can join the Discord and the replay channel. Post your replays there. There's also a pinned comment where you can find where your replays are and all that jazz. Either way, the Orks are just not breaking in any way, shape or form. Looking at them, all our boys are basically broken. The Flash Gates and the Tank Busters of Gurgarag doing a remarkably good job. The Mega Nobs are still alive, but bloody Nora in heaven. With this Space Marine and Chaos Space Marine backing, getting through this narrow corridor is just stupidly bad. Orbital bombardment comes in, and that is basically stopping us from pushing in. We're going to throw down a couple of flayed ones, mainly because, oh, a little bit of mischief and mayhem. We're pushing down here, baby. Oh yeah, they've sent all their army over this way to defend the Orks. And while their army's over here, we're going to send the Baneblade and a couple of, I mean, you know, maybe there's a bit of a organisational issue here. You know, lots of anti-vehicle and building stuff to basically break down the production. Trying to go for the Chaos Lord, which I've noticed, and someone also mentioned in the comments, they've changed the little artwork to being Lord Eliphas. I do believe it is Lord Eliphas. It's a cooler piece of thumbnail artwork, or whatever you want to call it there. It's beautiful stuff. So give them the old razzle-dazzle. Yes, well done, you've defended the Ork base, but you've not defended the Chaos Space Marine base. So sending the boys in. The flayed ones are also joining the fray as well, or the flay, if you want to try a little bit of play on words there. What's got Tomb Spider in there for recycling, because recycling's always good. Negan just leaves. I don't blame him. And Meek says, GG, well played. And it was, you know what, to be honest, like, that defense there, if we didn't decide to go onto the side If we just flung everything here, that would have been a sad time for everyone. I mean, just look at all the dead bodies going down in the centre of this, I mean, it's just an epic view to witness, I suppose. Yeah, I think everyone played to their advantages. I must say, though, that I think that the Chaos Space Marines, and I mean, the Space Marines had a large army for the majority of the game. They could have probably thrown their weight around a little bit more, but they didn't. And so the thing to learn here, boys and girls, is that if you've got an army, send them into the battle. Yep. Throw down the face down, as Yu-Gi-Oh would say. Send them to the Shadow Realm and fight stuff. And there's another like 3 or 4 minutes of us slowly but surely breaking down the Space Marine base. But I won't do Smaug. I'm going to call him Smaug now. A badness by showing his shame. But it's killing him. And yeah, so there we go. So cheers, boys and girls, for watching at home. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you one to game a week. And there's also Discord, where Discord things happen. Links in the description as always. My name's Mr. Landshark. Pleasure's always never short. And I will see you in a bit. Peace.